Alright guys, I'm going to skip the intro on this video. This video is way too serious to have an intro. So let's get right into it. Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the announcement that came out about Klutch Kickers and how that affects my plans and what I'll be doing next year. So if you guys haven't heard yet, I'm sure you have, it's been all over the internet today and last night. The Klutch Kickers series has been moved from the Emerald Coast Dragway, which is in Holt, Florida, to Freedom Factory, which is in Bradenton, Florida, which is just south of Tampa and St. Pete and all that stuff. About 7 hours away from the track in Holt, if I'm not mistaken. So let me tell you why that affects me. First of all, there's two factors here. One is for those of you that have been following me, I literally just built the car I took on Drift Week. I'm calling it the Klutch Kickers car. I literally built that car for that track because all the data I got from last year and on Drift Week when we went there, all that data that I collected was like, okay, this is how I can make this car fast on this track with this gearing and this engine and this turbo and this power, and now all that stuff is out the window. So I literally built a car specifically for that track in that series, and I was gonna leave it there, and all that stuff that I did was like based on all this stuff. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not blaming anyone. Let me tell you why it happened. The reason that they moved tracks is because the Emerald Coast Dragway is being sold. It is not owned by Klutch Kickers. It was being leased by Klutch Kickers. The track is being sold, and they could not get a firm commitment whether they would be able to lease it for 2022. So they decided, based on this idea that we don't have a firm commitment, there's too much on the line to like have any sort of, you know, wishy-washy stuff going on. They decided to lock in something that was firm, and the best option for them was to go with Freedom Factory, which is fine. I have no problem with Freedom Factory. I'm actually excited to drive at Freedom Factory. That's beside the point. So throughout this video, what I'm talking about, I'm not blaming Klutch Kickers. I'm not blaming the track. I'm not blaming anyone. It's just an unfortunate series of events that the timing could not have been worse for me. So back to what I was talking about. I built my car specifically for this track to make it like a really good weapon on that track with that horsepower and all that stuff. Tire size, the alignment, everything that I learned last year is now out the window, which is not a big deal other than the fact that I built a car for that purpose. So that sucks. Next, I'll get back to talking about my car, but the next thing is the reason I committed to do Klutch Kickers last year and it worked out so well is because I have friends in that area. Within 2 hours of the track, I have multiple friends that are willing to help, that have the resources to help me with storing my car, working on my car, storing tires, transport, all that stuff works out really well by having friends in the area. Once you take that out of the equation, it changes everything. Now I'm talking about probably guaranteed Airbnbs and hotels. I don't know where to store my stuff. I don't know where to work on my stuff. I'm gonna have to ship stuff as far as tires and stuff. Just more complicated. If you guys have been watching my other videos, I actually had a truck, I had a van, I had my camp trailer, all that stuff stored in that area. So when we go to the track, it's like, okay, let's fly into Panama City. I have someone pick me up, and then we've got everything there that we need to to stay at the track, to transport the car and everything, right? It's just like this setup that just worked because of the infrastructure that's in place in that part of Florida and Alabama. Really good friends I have there, and that's also the only excuse I have to go there. Not the only excuse, but like that's the reason I go down there and spend time with my friends down there, and then go to the beach, because the Gulf Coast has the best beaches in the United States. I don't care what anyone says, that's like the best, right? And so like I already had planned for 2022 to take my family there, to stay for an extra week, to hang out in that part of the country, and now it's like turned upside down. So those are the two things. I built a car for that series. And I planned next year around going to Northern Florida, and both of those things have now been ripped out of my soul. So let's talk about where we are going to be. If we're going to the Tampa area, that puts us even further from home. I think getting to Holt is like 30 something hours for me, 32 hours. Now we're looking at probably like 38 to 40 hours. Which is whatever. Once you're driving that far, it's what's an extra 7 hours, but it's just like so much more. So now what do? Do I leave my car in Alabama and then fly into Alabama and then drive 7 hours each way in a weekend? Like, that kind of sucks. And that's more gas money. It's like I might as well just fly into Tampa or whatever's down there, you know? That makes more sense. But then I have to rent a car. Who's going to pick me up? It's like all these things that just don't work now. It just makes it more complicated to both store my car and to transport my car to and from the track. And where am I going to work on it when I need to? Where am I going to stay if I need to stay afterwards to work on it? Or like if I need to fly in a week early to work on my car, if I crashed, or if an engine fails or something, like where am I going to do that at? I don't know. So now I've got to try and figure that out. Aside from that, we have a track that is basically a giant oval with an infield. So that starts to make you think, okay, are we doing the bank? Which means you have to have, 400 or 500 plus horsepower to compete. And still, if you get on a bank and you've got 500 and Alec Honadale has 1,000, there's no chance. There's no equalizer about a bank. He's going to run away and you're going to lose. So that's, and they've been talking about, well, we're going to make an equalizer course, but if you're at a banked oval, at some point they're going to use part of that bank, and it's going to make that round that they choose to do that a horsepower round. So now I'm thinking, okay, do I build my car to have 600 or 700 horsepower? Make a lot more sense, right? But I literally, and like this is almost comical, I literally welded my turbo to my manifold because I was like, why would I ever want to change this turbo? I'm building this car specifically to have this horsepower to run this track and to spool really well. And it does exactly what I wanted it to. But now the equation has changed. So it's like, I don't want to cut that turbo off that manifold. And it's like, okay, do I just run a little more boost and get like 500 horsepower? I don't know. That turbo, it's a really small AR exhaust housing, and it spools so quick, like amazingly quick. But it does not have top end because it chokes out, right? But that was perfect for clutch kickers because I didn't need top end. I needed low end, like be able to roll into boost and have it come on like right away, and it does that perfectly. But come on. All right. Aside from that, Klutch Kickers is very, very, very easy on tires. Like, I could go quite a while on one pair of tires at Klutch Kickers. Now we're talking about a truck that probably is going to eat tires really, really fast. So that changes the budget entirely, because now we're talking about going through, I don't know, twice as many tires in a weekend. And it's not like I can show up and be like, oh, I've got this track dialed because I drove it all last year. I don't need to practice. Now I need to practice as much as I possibly can and get all those runs in. And if we're doing a bank, you're talking about third gear, just burning those tires off. So like this changes the budget drastically. And I've got some other plans for 2022 which are going to take my budget away from Klutch Kickers. So like everything about this whole thing just it takes my plans and just twists them in a way that I don't know if it's going to work. Like I said, let me go back to this. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not mad at Klutch Kickers. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm super stoked actually that they were able to adapt and change the series to keep it alive, right? What's the other option? You lose your track, you lose your series, you just pull the plug and you turn it, you turn the whole program off. And I'm really glad they didn't do that, right? They found a solution to keep the program alive. And it's not a bad track. There's nothing wrong with Freedom Factory. I got to drive there. I didn't get to drive enough because we had, my car ended up not working as well. But I drove my Icon car at Freedom Factory and I was on the bank, like touching the wall. And I was like, this is sick. Like, I loved it, So I'm excited to go to Freedom Factory. I got nothing against banks. I got nothing against horsepower tracks. Not at all. But that's not what I was planning on when I was planning on doing Klutch Kickers. It wasn't like, oh, I need horsepower, I need tires, I need this. like I said, none of that stuff bothers me other than I made a plan around something else. And you can say, well, you shouldn't have planned until you knew the schedule, right? But like, we didn't have reason to believe that it wouldn't be at the same track again. So, I don't know. I'm just jibber-jabbering, rambling on now. I guess that's all I've got to say about this. But it's just something I wanted to talk about. So leave the comments below. What do you guys think? You think it's a good move? What do you think? How do you think things are gonna go? If you guys have any information that I don't have or anything that I forgot to talk about on here, please leave it in the comments. I love chatting with you guys about this stuff. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might end up making more videos about changing the Klutch Kickers car to suit the Klutch Kickers series. I don't know. Literally just got this information last night and I'm trying to process it, but I wanted to put out a video as soon as possible just talking about it. So those of you that haven't caught up on social media, read all the comments, so just to kind of condense that and let you guys know what's going on with Klutch Kickers. But that's it. Stay tuned, guys. I'll have more for sure. Thanks for watching. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.